This is another reading of Mehera-Meher, page 580, and it's volume 3. Because of Mehera's serious condition in May 1989, Bao had been debating whether to postpone his scheduled trip to Australia. Side note says, like Adi Sr., Bao had wished Mehera farewell before proceeding on prior speaking tours to the West, asking if she had any message to convey. Mehera's inevitable response was give Baba's love to all his lovers there. Due to years of conditioning, because of Baba's previous injunction against the Mandali seeing Mehera, Bao admitted that he always quote, felt scared and nervous to stand before Mehera even then, end quote. On 20 May, he had gone to Baba's tomb in the morning and decided firmly not to postpone the trip. As soon as he returned to the trust office, the phone call came from Meherzad that Mehera had gone to Baba. In Australia, Bao spoke of Mehera. Mehera dropped her body, this is Bao, Mehera dropped her body on Buddha Jayanti, Buddha's birthday, and also the day of his realization. Mehera became one with the beloved the same day. It is not a day of sorrow, but it is a matter of great joy that she became one with the beloved. Though we miss her, still it is good for all that she has become one with the beloved. When one becomes one with the beloved, no one knows what benefit the world derives out of it. There was nothing in Mehera's life except the beloved. She was the only perfect example of dedication. She was not living for herself. She was living for the beloved. Not a single thought of self. What she was passing through, no one knew. She played a very difficult role, caring only for Baba's orders and pleasure. When she shed tears, those tears were immeasurably valuable, since she was weeping for the whole creation. Such tears, of course, we cannot have. It requires the dedication of many lifetimes. The tears she shed were quite a different sort. Those tears touched the hearts of people, particularly his lovers. Mehera was the beloved of the beloved. She was like the queen. The queen is not physically present now, but her palace is there, and it is lit with her love. People of many generations afterwards will remember her love. They will remember her tears. They will remember her dedication. Baba has explained that the avatar's circle consists of 10 circles with 12 members in each circle and two special appendages. Meher was one of these appendages, Baba declared, and Mani the other. According to Bao, each member of the avatar circle represents an opposite attribute of God. For example, in the early years, Baba referred to Gustaji as his dark side, meaning that Gustaji represented infinite darkness. Another represented infinite ignorance as the opposite attribute to infinite knowledge, and so on. Baba worked for creation through them and the other circle members. But Mehera represented all the opposite attributes of God, Bao stated, and hence held a unique place in the beloved circle. It happens only after 700 years or 1400 years, when the Ancient One comes on earth in human form. She represents Eve. Every time the Lord comes on earth, someone is there to represent that post, which is permanent. Adam was the first one, the first drop. Eve was creation, Maya. In the beginning, when creation took place, the first drop, the avatar, got God realization, then became the first perfect master. He worships Maya because Maya was and is the medium for realization of God. Therefore, when he comes down on earth, age after age, he brings someone to represent the whole of creation, which has all the opposite attributes of God. Mehera was that one. Mani also spoke about this aspect of Mehera's role in representing creation. We have all been representatives, like mini models, or said in a better way, like tools that Baba needs for molding. We each represent something symbolically for the work he does through us, even though we are unconscious of it. To me, what could be the Creator's beloved but his creation? Mehera, to me, I feel positive, represents the world, his creation. This is his beloved in that way too. Each time when God appears as man, when he assumes the mantle of imperfection of man to be among us, the stage has to be set. The roles, the story is his, but this one is given a certain role. This role that is very special as his beloved has been given to Mehera. Mehera has earned that role as Baba's beloved. One should not mix up divine love with physical love. When Baba says that she is his beloved, it does not mean what an ordinary person would say, that so and so is my beloved. The divine love is something that we not only don't have in our dictionary of life, but it is something that one doesn't experience. There again, it is something that Baba has come to give us by his very being, by way of example of what real love, divine love means, which does not depend upon the physical or the touch. Another thing, Baba said Mehera had the purity of heart of a child. That childlike quality Baba implanted, planted, preserved, and developed. We would always say that Mehera is like a child, that she has the innocent heart of a child, which explains the way in which Baba would please her, because that is how Baba has kept her. So when I think of Mehera, this is Mani continuing. So when I think of Mehera, I think of purity, not only in the sense of being like a nun, because that applies to us all who are with him, but of another kind. It is a purity that is a simplicity of its own kind. In these roles are the ones who are around Baba, whom he has kept as the innermost circle around him, in his proximity and life with him. We are like an architect's models, in parentheses, of a construction, a house, a building, end parentheses. The model is not limited to the model itself. It is what will be applied to the dimensions it is meant for. So, in whatever way Baba worked with his circle, the chosen few, It is meant to be universal in times to come. As we all represent something, I have a very strong assurance in my heart, though Baba never said it directly, that Mehera represents his creation, the world. If Mehera represents the world, naturally she is Baba's beloved. What would be the beloved to a creator? That which he has created. So Baba would say, if Mehera is pleased, I am pleased. Sometimes Mehera said, Baba, someone has sent this cheese for you. Baba told her to have it, saying, it is as good as my having it. In other words, if you are pleased, it is as good as me being pleased. He was reflecting that role, saying that she should be taken care of, because by that it is taking care of the world. Mani spoke again on the same theme on another occasion. Baba said Mehera was his beloved, that he loved her most, that her love for him was matchless and childlike in its purity and simplicity, and that she was the one chosen to be his beloved in this Advent. He would treasure her expressions of love for him and see that she was pleased always. He would tell her, if you are happy, I am happy. The worldly minded, who do not know the meaning of divine love and cannot understand a loving that is not expressed physically, misconstrue the role of the beloved in the avataric advent and wonder if the avatar, too, has need for a partner like any other man. Down through the ages, humanity has witnessed each time the avatar comes, he has a beloved. As Ram, he had his Sita. As Krishna, he had his beloved Radha. As Jesus, he had his dear Mary Magdalene. But down through the ages, people have wondered, and it's no wonder that they continue to wonder in this Advent. Why does the Lord have the need to have a beloved when he himself is the beloved Lord of all? Something most insignificant throws light on this significant question. As related earlier, Baba always went to such an extent to please Mehera and to keep her happy that one day Mani, in exasperation, said to him, Baba, if Mehera were to tell you that the earth is square, I guess you would say, yes, it is, wouldn't you? Baba looked at Mani and nodded very seriously. Yes, I would. As Mani recalled, it was not until many years later that it dawned on her that Baba loved Mehera in the way that he wanted his lovers to love him. The Avatar sets the guidelines for humanity in his life and becomes the gauge by which humanity can measure itself. In loving his beloved, the Avatar perfectly plays the role of the lover and sets an example for all his lovers of how to love him, the divine beloved. And there's a side note here that says Heather Nadell, why the beloved has a beloved. Friends of the Avatar Meher Baba Trust newsletter, January 1982. Don Stevens echoed the same conclusion. Baba has said on many occasions that one of his duties in coming into creation was to provide the living example. Certainly he does this in showing us how one should offer love to another, as he confounds our greatest expectations in the totality of his understanding and acceptance of each one of us. But while Baba demonstrates direct to us this total acceptance, he is reduced to showing the pure example of the challenge to each of us of how to return this incomparable act of grace to the one great instance of Mehera's manner of loving him. Such an example is certainly intended to give us pause for reflection and comparison of our own response to his love, as demonstrated in the example he has brought before us and identified to us in the clearest of words. He has not done this for any manner of satisfaction to Mehera herself. She had absolutely no need for such flattery. Her very manner demonstrated conclusively that she already had to overflowing the greatest gift of which she could dream. Mehera, more than any other human being, can and should represent to us the ideal of what the real return of love can and must be: totally undemanding love. As we see the example of Mehera, we must be reminded, and, and undoubtedly, Baba intended it to be thus, that it is a sheer offering, the unclouded and total offering of our own complete giving to Him of the totality of our river of warmth and certainty of complete meaning found in His being. Mehera is the symbol of the giving of nothing other than the simple self. I feel deeply as I have observed the state of our present efforts to show our gratitude and wish to return some modicum of our own estimation of great value received, that now is the time when we must all come to terms with the example of Mehera and not regard it as something unique in the life of the Avatar, but for what he certainly provided it to us. It is the symbol and the concrete example of what each of us must know as the ideal of love, to which we must compare ourselves and to which we must move steadily and joyously. And that's the end of Don Stevens's remarks. And we'll pause here for change of readers. Let me pause the recording. With Mehera's passing and reunion, the divine romance between herself and Meher Baba came to an end. But the sweet fragrance of their wondrous love remains redolent on earth as the story of their days together is recalled and retold. Mehera's example will always be the paradigm of love. But how can we incorporate her experience into our daily lives? How can we uh, begin quotes, move steadily and joyously, end quote, towards that ideal, simply by doing this, by living as Mehera did those last many years without Baba's physical presence. When Mehera remembered the beloved throughout the day, she turned to look and felt Baba's presence near her. It is possible for us also, but it requires constant, sincere remembrance. When Mehera said, "Take Baba with you," this is what she meant. Meher Baba meant the same when he exhorted us, "Make me your constant companion." May we be worthy of loving the divine beloved as faithfully, as honestly, as deeply as Mehera did. May we be as courageous as Mehera was to let our eyes be fitted with the blinders of devotion, so that all we see is the beloved's face, so that all we care about is obeying him, so that one day we too might realize that nothing else matters in this world but pleasing him. And my hair is smiling and making the sign of perfection with her right hand, and it looks like she's holding a tortilla chip in her left hand. That's Meher's. It was taken Meher's birthday, 22 December 1975, under the tin shed, Upper Meherabad. And this is the first Appendix A, 1952 medical and accident reports. Let me pause the recording to resuming the recording with me call reading.
Okay, thank you. So, Duke Hospital, name Irani Miss Mehra. This is, how do you call this thing from the hospital? It's a document from the hospital. Duke
Yeah,
Hospital, name Irani Miss Mehra, history number D41537, date 23rd to June 1952. Location SPDC, whatever that means. Signature Dr. What's that first letter?
Dr.
Woodall.
Woodhull.
Woodhull. Time nothing. Service nothing. Service neurology.
Neurosurgery.
Neurosurgery. Okay. Numerical note. This
No, that's a
patient.
neurosurgical note.
Oh, neurosurgical note, sorry. This patient is referred by Dr. William Donkin, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She is a member of the traveling group of people from India. She was in an automobile accident in Oklahoma City on May 24, 1952. I have no details about the accident, but apparently the patient was not unconscious. She did receive a laceration in the mid-frontal region, about 2 centimeters above the eyebrow, and X-rays showed a small depressed fracture in this region and also showed marked linear fractures bilaterally. She was apparently seen by Dr. Henry Wilkins, a neurosurgeon in Oklahoma City. She had no other evidence of increased intercranial pressure, but she did have a free fragment of scalp, which had been sutured back, and apparently Dr. Wilkins did not feel that anything more should be done to this wound. Since that time, she has gone along fairly well, complaining of anesthesia or what's this?
I think it's hyposthesia.
Yeah, hyposthene, above the laceration and general feeling of being unwell. The wound has been treated in a queer way with all sorts of powders, and she has received no penicillin. General neurological examination was completely normal, except for some withdrawal and perhaps some dulling of consciousness. This is difficult to ascertain. In the mid-frontal region, there was a stellate area of necrotic scalp covered by some white substance. Linear fracture lines could be felt passing from this area, and a linear scar above it was fairly well healed. It apparently represents a fragment of scalp tissue that has not healed and may be sequestrating. X-ray examination of the skull has reported as follows: aplateral stereos of the skull show a diffuse and what appears to be comminuted fracture throughout the frontal and parasitofrontal regions, with fracture lines extending around on both sides, and on the left down toward the middle ear. The crack on the right frontal bone seems to extend downward into the lateral portion of the right orbit, and the crack on the left extends down towards the medial wall of the left orbit. There is also a small fracture down through the middle into the region of the cribrifora plate. The orbital walls appear smooth. Extending up from the main fracture line across the frontal bone is a smaller fracture extending upward and backward into the left parietal frontal region. As far as can be determined, there is no evidence of any depression. This patient was advised to have hospitalization and have this matter settled, and at the best to take penicillin 300,000 units every day for the next 4 or 5 days to prevent any intercarnial infection. She refused both of these
measures.
measures. She is going to New York City, where I have called Dr. J. Lawrence Poole about her, and subsequently she is going to England to spend some weeks there. Barnes Woodhall, MD. Maras Duke Hospital Neurological Report, June 1952, Authors Collection. And another report, what's this? Oklahoma motor vehicle accident Command
report, probably. Yeah.
report? Oh, report, right.
Yeah, it's
Command.
covered over with that stamp.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, maybe you should read that? Huh?
Well, um,
Or it's not important.
well, it's an accident report, so it is kind of important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks like a vehicle report because it talks about the cars, the sedan, the Nash sedan and the Mercury sedan, and that they had collided and where they did. And so Meeker, Oklahoma, that's the place. And can you scroll that up? Yeah, oh, up. Okay, so it says Mrs. Jane Henson, Miss
Th-
Elizabeth Patterson, and who were involved in Merwan Irani and Meru Irani, and the ages on the side. Can you scroll so we can see the ages? So Jane Henson, that's and Dewey, that she is, I don't know, it's covered, and Elizabeth Patterson was 56, Mani Mani Irani was 33, Mera Irani was 42, Miss Meru Irani was 25, and Merwan Irani Baba was 58 at that time. And so they have this kind of, yeah, it's police. No, it's what?
oh, yeah. This is also I guess an insurance
Yeah,
form.
insurance report of 1952 automobile accident filed with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol authors collection. Yeah, so it's something to do with police informing about what's happened. And this is a sketch of the road and where it happened and how it happened. And it has someone saying giving his how do you call it, evidence. I was, but I don't think I can read that handwriting. So can you read that?
Sure, I'll take a stab at it. I was going east when I saw a truck in front of me as I illegible. Doing this, my brake froze on one side, which gave the car the tendency to turn left. In doing so, I made a U-turn across the highway and off the road. Then the Nash came at a pretty good speed and hit me in the rear. Oh, interesting.
That's beautiful. Wow, you made it. Kol hakavod. Yeah, and it shows in the sketch, and there's a sketch that shows how it happened.
And it's signed Anthony Joseph Palmieri.
Oh, who's that? What is under it? Ah, that's the driver, right. So that's the driver that was in the other car. Our party was on a motor tour from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to something,
Caliph.
Caliph.
Yeah,
And
short for
on
California.
Oh, and on Saturday, May 24th, at approximately 10:30 a.m., I was driving my Nash, what?
Statesman.
Statesman along the open road toward Oklahoma City, having passed Prague. A few miles back, suddenly I saw a car coming at me or at a very high speed towards Prague or towards me. It swerved from its right side of the road in front of my car for no reason that I could see. I put my brakes with all forces and gave that other car as much room as possible and kept my car as far to the right hand side of the road as I could without going to the ditch. My car was hit very badly on the left front by the other car. I can only think that the other car was out of what? Control, out of control. I was told later that the something something
Car was owned by,
INCCI,
I think
right?
it's GI, with
GI,
one leg, with one with
artificial.
an artificial leg.
Yeah, okay, so this is Elizabeth writing. Mrs. Elizabeth, she has signature here. Page of the insurance report, top Palmieri's description, bottom Elizabeth accounts, author's collection.
I
Should I go?
believe I seem to remember that uh, we recorded this um, already
I wasn't when you did.
years ago.
Oh, I wasn't when you did.
2 or 3 years ago when we were, and it's probably, um, if it's not on Baba Zoom, it's on the previous iteration of Baba Zoom, which was called, I think, Circle of Friends.
Yeah, circle friends.
Um, so we'll stop here and I'll research that and see if it's there, and then there's no need to
Okay,
repeat it if it's already been recorded. But I do have a memory of reading this and recording it.
okay.
Okay.
So did you stop recording?
I have